Hello everybody, my name is James, hope you're all doing well, and welcome back to another video. So Fernando Alonso has spoken more about Aston Martin's chances this season, whilst George Russell and Toto Wolff have revealed more about the potential of the Mercedes W14 ahead of the first race. Make sure to like the video, and subscribe for more Formula 1 content, but let's jump straight into the news. So let's start with Aston Martin, where Fernando Alonso has sent rivals a warning about the AMR23. Now the team were the stars of testing, with the car in Alonso's hands being super quick. And it wasn't just quick because the team took fuel out of the car and used the softest tyres. Instead, the team mainly used harder tyres with higher fuel loads throughout the test, and in the process were very competitive on their long runs. Now this is impressive given last year the team were nowhere near as good, and the regulations haven't changed that much going into 2023. But Alonso did say the philosophy of the car has changed a lot, and as a result it might take a bit of time for everything to get up to scratch. He said, "There's a clear indication that we need to change philosophy on many things on this car compared to last year's car, and that's a concern in a way because we need a couple of races to optimise the package. But as I say, there's no doubting that Aston Martin looked good in testing, and Alonso seems very optimistic about the team's long run pace, stating it was better than Ferrari's." Speaking at a promotional event for Aston Martin after testing, he said, "On the last test day, we did a race simulation. Then we did 57 laps, the same thing we're going to do this week in Bahrain. We put fuel in for those 57 laps and did the full race with the full setup, even changing the tyres. At the same time, Ferrari were doing the same program as us with the same fuel for the race, same stops, and we were slightly faster." Now for me, I do feel that unless something bizarre happens, the team will be looking to be at least 4th in the constructors' standings this year, and even get themselves into the top 6 more often. That to me is how good they looked in testing. But at the same time we have to remember it is just testing, and things can change going into the first race. But Alonso does appear confident about the new Aston Martin, so he's clearly got a good feeling with the car. And he even went on to say that there's more to come from it. He said, "We need to make the car as fast as possible for next week, for race 1, but we feel there's a lot more to come from the car. We didn't have time just in testing to unlock everything with only 3 days, but it's step by step, and the team is working flat out." But let's move on to Mercedes, where Russell's made a revelation about the W14. Now as we know, the team had an up and down pre-season test, with the car being reliable on the whole, but looked a bit of a mess on the second day before the team had a hydraulic issue. But Russell does believe the car is better than last year's, and that there's more time to come. He said, "There are a lot of improvements over the W13 in some areas. Unfortunately, because of the hydraulic failure on Friday, we lost some track time. But I think we were able to discover some interesting things in the data that will hopefully gain us some lap time, so we have to keep the positives." Now for me, I do feel that there is time for the team to find. That's because most of their test was focusing on high downforce and high fuel runs, whilst they use a rear wing that's good for data gathering, but not good for speed. But Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff said it's difficult to judge where the team will be compared to the likes of Red Bull and Ferrari. He said, "They're fast, but it's not surprising. It's very difficult to judge at this stage, because everyone's played around with fuel loads and played with engine modes, so we can't really judge." Now one thing Mercedes apparently did notice was that Red Bull was running 10mm lower to the ground than everyone else. Now the lower you are, the more downforce you're gonna get, but because of bouncing and porpoising it does make it difficult to make the car lower in these new era of cars. Now Red Bull were the masters of getting low to the ground last year without suffering too badly, and it seems they've pulled it off again this year. An unnamed Mercedes engineer told Automotor and Sport, "They're 10mm lower than everyone else. If we drove that low, the underbody would break." But that's going to be the video from me today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care. Bye.